Cool.
How you doing? So you mentioned it. Now I got to get it on tape. I just talked to Cowboy because we talked about the bet you were going to ask him about. Whose idea was it?
It was his idea for a bet first, I think, maybe, or was it my idea? I can't remember. We were going back and forth, and we put it out on Twitter to say, hey, what's a good idea for a bet? Like, what you know, we're trying to think of something like, you know, more fun, more cool than just money, because that's the easy part. So I was watching some videos on the playoffs and the Seahawks and all that stuff. I remember seeing something about Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick. The loser had to shave their eyebrow, and Colin had to shave his eyebrow. Like, oh, that's a great bet. That's awesome. Like, we definitely got to do that one. So then I brought it up to Cowboy, see what he thought. He was a little nervous, but we decided on not just one eyebrow, but both eyebrows.
Well, he said he'll look prettier without his eyebrows than you. Any response to that?
That's because the Broncos are going to lose. He already knows. He already knows. He knows. He's like, oh, I'm going to lose this bet, but it's okay because I'm still going to look good. He'll look good with no eyebrows. That's because my Seahawks coming out on top.
How did the wife feel about that bet?
Oh, yeah, she was happy. I should have checked with her first. I forget I got to like check ahead of time before I do silly stuff.
You got to learn about married life, right?
Yeah, I got I've been doing a good job, but I'm doing learning slowly. You gotta check first.
Not that you're expecting to lose, but would you use Nair? Would you use a razor? How would you do it?
I would do it with whichever one my hair would go back the quickest. So if it's the razor and your hair goes back right aww, I'll use a razor. If it's Nair, I'll use Nair. I don't know. I gotta do some research.
You might start using makeup pencil. You know?
Yeah, use pencil. That'll be a good
look.
look.
Honeymoon pictures with no eyebrows. We've got to really be rooting for the Seahawks.
That'd be great.
Were you at all worried about the distractions of having a marriage, you know, this close to a fight and going through all that?
No, not really. I'm pretty good. Of course, I'm biased, but I think I'm pretty good at keeping my work life work and my personal life personal. You know, I don't bring my work home when it's time to concentrate on the 25th and Josh Thompson. I'm able to do that. When it's time to go try cakes, I'm all for that too.
When were you married?
January 1st.
Has marriage prepared you for fighting, or has fighting prepared you for marriage?
Yes.
Benson, I heard you obviously have a great training camp, and everyone knows you're a well-rounded guy. But I heard you had some pretty good sparring sessions with Joe Riggs. I was hearing some stories about some pretty crazy stand-up you've been working on.
Joe Riggs beat me up. Yeah. Like I have these special gloves. Like they're some of the better MMA gloves I've seen, I've used. I was like, oh, these gloves would be great. They'll protect my hands. They'll do a good job, and they're nice and puffy and everything. Like, I'm gonna use these ones. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna give these to Joe Riggs. So when he punches me, it's a little bit softer on my face. Joe Riggs is a man. He's very, very underrated. People kind of forgot about him, but he's perhaps the most impressive MMA fighter I've seen ever with my own eyes. Like he's super impressive. Like, knows everything. Well versed standing up on the ground. His stand up is just sick. Super nice guy. Super hilarious. Like, he'll keep you guys laughing for 5 hours straight, nonstop. He's just a funny guy like that. But he's beaten the tar out of me a couple times. I've definitely gotten better and tougher sparring Joe Riggs because he beats the tar out of me.
For those who maybe don't know the sport as well, a lot of you guys are friends out of the ring as well. Can you talk a little bit about that, how your relationships are, you can compartmentalize it once you go out there and fight?
I think for the gyms, it'll be different from not in the gym. But in the gym, our gym, I'm a little bit biased, but I think our gym, the MMA Lab, we do a great job of creating a chemistry, a bond, a brotherhood. It's not just, you know, all my guys, like, but, you know, these guys are brothers. Like, if they have a bad day with their wife, you know, in the morning they come to the gym and they're in a bad mood, they pop my arm, I can't fight, you know, I got to take 6 weeks off or something like that. So you have to be really careful, really trust the people you're training with. All my guys I train with for a long, long time. We have guys come to the gym all the time, and they try it out, see how they feel, see how they fit, and they don't fit. Like, something's off about them. They don't like our gym, we don't like them, whatever the case is. But we've had more than a few UFC fighters come to our gym and just not fit in our gym. They're great. They beat us up. We beat them up. Whatever. It's not about skill level, but just being fitting into place. You know, being comfortable. In our gym, we have all my brothers. I would hide bodies for these guys. You know, that's how much I love these guys. You know. So, you know, that being said, like, you got to fit into place. And our gym is we have that. It's something special. You don't get that everywhere you go.
You had a lot of pressure, like before your bouts, and right now when you have a bout, it's
Is it complicated? You feel more pressure to get back to the track and to try to get that back?
I wouldn't say exactly more pressure. I always have pressure I put on myself to do well, to be successful, to get my hand raised. So there's additional sources of pressure that can be pressure from here, here, or here. But the only pressure I really feel, to be honest, is the pressure I place on myself to be successful, to get my hand raised. Any other pressure from any other source doesn't nearly compare to what I place on myself.
Vincent, you throughout your championship career, you said a lot of times, it doesn't matter how you win. I don't care if it's split decision, the guy slips on a banana peel, I'll take the win.
Exactly.
So I'll ask you, what's more important now as you go back towards the title? Is it Anthony Pettis or is it the title? And the reason I ask that is if Anthony, let's say he loses, to a Gilbert Melendez, somebody you beat, would it mean more to beat Anthony Pettis or would it mean more just to get the title?
That's a good question. I'd say that why not do both? he can stay injured for a year, stay hurt till July or 2 years or whatever. He can keep the belt and he can stay injured. Every guy UFC would give a title shot to, send him my way. I'll go down the entire list of the top 10. I'll beat everybody's butt. Let's do that.
Every now
and then when he does healthy and he does come back, then I'll be waiting for him.
He's got no choice at that point.
Now, every now and then we hear this theory that a fighter has another fighter's number. Like, Cain Velasquez has Junior Santos' number. You don't feel that way about Anthony Pettis, though, do you? You don't think he's got your number at all?
I wouldn't say so, no. No. Of course, I'm biased on one side, but if you look at the nature of the two fights, one being a close decision, big kick wins him the fight, the other being a very good technical arm lock, made a great adjustment in the middle of the arm lock to finish it. Neither one of those are like game plan. Okay, if you do this, this, and this, you can beat, he can beat Henderson every time. Those two fights weren't that kind of a situation. It wasn't like, oh, he did A, B, C, and D, and it's hard for him to stop A, B, C, and D. It wasn't like that. If Cain Velasquez is Junior Santos, he does the same thing the first fight, the second fight, the third fight, the fourth fight. Like then, okay, well, yeah, that's one story. I don't think, of course, I'm biased. I don't think it's necessarily the case with Pettis and I.
So you feel it was just more of a mental lapse in that second fight against Pettis where you just made a mistake? In
the second fight, I give credit to Anthony Pettis. He did a great job. I did make a mistake. I make mistakes in all my fights, though. I made mistakes in the Frankie Edgar fight. Frankie, not that he wasn't good enough, but he wasn't able to capitalize on the mistake and to finish me. I made a mistake in the Gilbert Melendez fight. In the Nate Diaz fight, I make mistakes. But they just weren't there to capitalize on those mistakes and to put me away. Anthony Pettis, he was a gamer. He was good enough to capitalize on that mistake and to finish the fight. So hats off to him. But yeah, it was a mental mistake on my part and one that I don't really make too often.
How many times did you watch the fight and how do you try to work those mistakes to not make them anymore?
I watched the fight like 2 or 3 times. I saw the mistake. I knew what it was. As soon as he got the legs up there, as soon as he went for the arm lock, got his leg up for the arm lock, I was like, oh, dang it. I knew what the mistake was. I know. I'm not too bad in jiu-jitsu. I knew what the mistake was, and I was defending it. And he made an adjustment to get the arm lock. It was going to the shoulder, and then he adjusted to the elbow. I was like, oh, that was slick. That was really good, you bastard. That was real nice. It was super technical on his part. So I know what the mistake was. So I didn't need to watch it a whole bunch of times. I watched it twice, and I always confirmed that's what happened. What I felt was what I saw on tape, and I was able to go forward from there.
Did you change anything for this fight specifically, since the last one?
No, I didn't change anything in my training from the last fight to this one.
There were some comments in the media about you thinking this was an easy win for you. I mean, I know that's how it was interpreted. That's not exactly what you said, but there was people that were saying that you said it was going to be an easy fight for you. Was that
let the man speak for himself.
That's what I'm saying. It was interpreted that it was going to be an easy fight for you. Right. So I mean, is that you being confident, or was that just something that somebody's put out of control and put it out there?
Inside the UFC octagon, we say it plainly, so you can use words. So there's no misinterpretation. Inside the UFC octagon, there are no easy fights. Period. Doesn't matter if it's your first fight in the UFC. Doesn't matter if it's your 10th fight in the UFC. Doesn't matter if it's your 10th time defending your UFC belt for a record. There's no easy fights inside the UFC octagon.
I realized that was a bad question. Josh thought that there were some comments that you thought this was going to be an easy fight, and is using that as motivation. Is that you think he's just looking for motivation from you?
I would say probably. I think he's probably reached on that aspect. I know there's no easy fights inside the UFC. He knows there's no easy fights inside the UFC. If he, chooses to wish to think that, cool, no worries. Like, it's on him. Whatever you need to do, get yourself amped up and excited and ready to go. Like, people do different things. Some people need peanut butter rubbed all over them and they're ready to go. Like, whatever the case is. If you need to think that, cool, go right ahead.
So how do you analyze him as a fighter?
Josh is tough. Josh is a true veteran of the sport. They're very well prepared. He's fought all over the world. He's fought a who's who list of the top 10 guys, in the rankings for the 155 pounders. Not only that, but he's trained with the who's who. He's trained with BJ Penn. He's trained with everybody. So there's not going to be any tricks or surprises. Oh, I haven't seen that punch before. I haven't seen that kick before. He's seen everything. He's seen everything on the ground. So he's a tough. He's a true vet. As a true veteran, he's going to be well prepared. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to be, his condition is on point for 5 rounds. He'll be well prepared and good to go.
What are your thoughts on him saying that this is probably his worst camp that he's had as a fighter?
I think he's a stand-up guy. He's a straight shooter. So if he had a tough camp, it was a tough camp. That's what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have tough camps. You have a tough training camp. You get beat up. Your buddies, your teammates beat you up, and they grind on you to make you a better fighter, to make sure that you're peaked on January 25th.